Welcome to day 3 of Jim and Meg's sled trip. Wait, Meg and Jim's sled trip. Well, whatever. Meg and Jim's sled trip. This is the 3rd day that we've been talking about this, and so by now you've had lots of schema build up in your mind about lots of different things. Sight words, decodable words, how you can use this story to understand better what they're thinking and feeling. And today what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a word strategy we could use to work out these tricky words. Now, you've probably already worked out these tricky words, but what I want to show you is a way that you could break down these words so that you could get them better. This is all about decoding. So, seriously, what's with that pen? Here's a word strategy for working out a long word to decode. Now, you don't have to panic when you see this word. You can look at it and think, oh, I see a word inside this word. Fantastic. What is it? If you said it's the word fan, then you'd be right. Watch this. F-A-N, fan. Fan is a CBC word. It has consonant, vowel, consonant. So that's really easy to work out. These next two things that I'm going to break down are not actually words, but they're nonsense words. So you could do the same thing. Tas to ass. And tick, t-ick. Now we put it all together. Fan, tas, tick. Fantastic. It won't always make the exact sound it should make, but if you get most of it, then you'll be able to figure out the word and use the context to see if that makes sense. Let's try this next one. I could break this up into which sometimes is in a lot of words like undo, unravel, unzip. And then the second part would be till. So I would go till, until. Same thing. What about this? Here, this word is slightly different. It's a compound word. So you might automatically be able to see 2 words you could pull out of there. Do you see them? Do you see them? I see them. It's the word down, which you might know as a sight word, and the word hill, which is a decodable word. This is a compound word because 2 words have been put together. Different to contractions where 2 words have been put together, letters have been rearranged, and then they've put an apostrophe. These are compound words. So we would go D-O-W-N, go down, D-O-W-N, go down. And then the other one is just decodable. Hill. Maybe you learn sight words a different way. I like to learn them through song because that's a great way to work them out. So there's a strategy you could use. The second thing we're going to look at is feelings in the story. What are some feelings that the characters might be having? And how do you infer that? So first I'll show you this, then I'll show you the page, then I'll go back to this. Feelings. When they tell their story, right at the end of the story, I infer that they feel what? What do they feel? When they look at the snow, I infer they feel what? That's the start of the story. When they go over the bump, whoa! I infer they feel what? When they go down the hill, I infer they feel what? You're going to need to look back through the pictures and the words to see. So this is where they see the snow. This is where they go down the hill. What words, pictures, and schema could you use to understand what they're feeling? This is where they go over the bump. Look at the words and the pictures. What do you infer they're feeling? And finally, they get back home. How do you infer they're feeling? This teaches us that feelings can be inferred. So now we'll look at this. When they go down the hill, I infer ... How do they feel? When they tell their story, I infer they feel. When they look at the snow, I infer they feel. When they go over the bump, I infer that they feel. I'm not even going to give you the answer to that because you're very clever. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at possessive nouns. You may have noticed that when you sounded out the word gyms, it said J-I-M apostrophe S. There are 4 letters, and then can I split my right in between the 3rd and the 4th finger? Can you do that? There is an apostrophe, so J-I-M apostrophe S. An apostrophe means this. It can mean that it's a contraction, but it can also mean that it's a possessive noun. And what that means is this. If you see the word after a possessive noun, what is with this marker today? Oh, what is going on? Don't you giggle. I heard you giggle. You can giggle, it's okay. So, the sled is the thing. Who does it belong to? Jim. It doesn't need to say the sled of Jim. It only needs to have an apostrophe and an S. That's how we use apostrophes. What about for this? What's the thing? The sled. Who does it belong to? Meg. What's the thing? It's the sled. Who does it belong to? It belongs to Meg. What's the thing? It's the sled. I shouldn't do that. My baby's sleeping. So, what about this? This is a bit trickier. Jim and Meg's sled trip. What's the thing? This is trickier. Do you know? Do you know? Sun's shining on my face. Look at this. My teeth. Sun. Okay, I should stop. The thing is the sled trip. And who does it belong to? It belongs to Jim and Meg together. That reminds me of a sight word, which is the word there. Because when it belongs to more than one person, you could say it's theirs. So the word there goes like this. Oh, there is written T-A-G-I-R. For something that belongs to them, it's T-A-G-I-R. Like it's their dolly, it's their house, or maybe it's their car or the sled. For something that belongs to them, it's T-A-G-I-R. Oh, there is written T-A-G-I-R. For something that belongs to them, it's T-A-G-I-R. Like it's their dolly, it's their car, or maybe it's their car. For something that belongs to them, it's T-H-E-I-R. Okay, first graders, it's time to go and enjoy Meg and Jim's sled trip all by yourself. Okay? Oh, I can't stop this thing from... It's going to squash my face. It's going to squash my face.